Okay, today's cup of coffee comes from our very own Michael Rex, and that is Yates to me. And Yates has been through a lot of shenanigans with me, and really appreciate him contributing. And Yates, when I got this email and read it for the first time, I literally had cold chills. And so that's very powerful. So here we go. Mike writes, when I was 17 or 18, I had a girlfriend who we will call Julie. After dating for perhaps a year, we got engaged. A few months after our engagement, Julie developed a bronchial and chest infection. This illness was serious, but was also compounded by the fact that she was found to be diabetic. After a 3-month stay in the hospital, Julie was sent home to recuperate. Her parents were fully informed of her serious position, but this information was not shared with me. I thought that Julie was on the mend, although she was confined to her bed. I believed she was recovering. Julie died at home after about 6 weeks. She and her parents had moved to my town from a town 35 miles away about 4 years prior to her illness, so her funeral was to be held in her previous hometown on a hot August day at 3 p.m. I set off in my car to the funeral, but halfway there my engine started to play up. When I managed to get the car going again, I had already missed the funeral by about an hour, so I returned the 25 miles home. I got back home at about 5:30 that evening. I told my mother that I didn't make it to Julie's funeral, and my mom said, "I know." Mom said she had been in the kitchen at 3 p.m. and that the kitchen door had flown open, even though there was no wind. Mom said a girl's voice then asked, "Where's Mike?" Mom said she couldn't say that it was Julie's voice because all of this happened within a few seconds. But Mom knew it was Julie. Yates, thank you so much for sharing that very poignant experience with us. And I'm sorry for your loss, because it's not that we ever get over the death of a loved one. We learn to deal and live with the pain. And for everyone, Yates did go on with his life quite well, and he did marry, he did have children, and he's a wonderful scallywag, and we love him dearly. So, anytime that you have a tragic event, that does have a bearing on you. Sometimes it's not uncommon to hear stories of loved ones coming to say goodbye to those when they have recently passed, stuff like that. That's a good thing. I don't know that I have ever heard a story of where someone had recently passed with the intent of doing harm to anyone else. That doesn't mean that the stories are not out there. That just means that I have not heard them. But at least for Yates, this was not a horrible thing. Thank you again for sharing. I'm getting emails coming in, which thrills me. And the more that we share, the more healing that we can have, the more openness with this to let people know, yeah, these things do happen. And to let us know, hey, it's not just you. And that takes a lot of the stigma away from these things. So send me your stories at cupofcoffeewithscream@gmail.com. And the email is in the description and stuff like that. So you all have a beautiful, blessed day.